I welcome you to this episode. It's been a long time since I've done this. It's been, a few months. So it's an honor to have you here, and I'm very, very grateful because you're a person that inspires me a lot. And yeah, I love to participate in all of your offerings and everything you do. But and of course, I welcome all the souls that are listening to this episode today. And let's let's dive into this. And first of all, let's start a little bit with what you are doing. Would you share a little bit more about what you are doing with us?
Oh, yes, absolutely. First of all, it's a such pleasure for me to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So what am I doing? It's a good question. So my work is around reclaiming sovereignty in a union with self and God. It's all about living a divinely led life and legacy. I will also maybe speak a little bit about this, like during our interview today, because it would make more sense for people
Of
with
course.
where I'm going with this. But that's basically what is the essence of my work. Is all about sovereignty. It's all about coming home to ourselves and walking our path as a benevolent, sovereign leader.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Of course, we will talk a little bit more about some things that you are doing. And there are always a million topics and a million questions that I would ask a wonderful person like you. But the first question I always start with, because I don't know, I feel it's like it's an important question for me, is the calling of the heart. And when did you hear it first? Like, when did you hear it, your soul for the first time, that wanted to, that longing for more in life? When did you hear it first, and when did you feel it first?
Yes, thank you so much, Janine. That's actually a very good question because I was very unsettled child. I knew that something else was possible within myself, but I just couldn't understand why my reality was showing otherwise. So when I was around maybe 12, 14, I started to read scientific magazines and something around witchcraft. It was actually one of my high school teachers, weirdly enough, yeah, who opened the door for us to the esoteric world. So this is how my journey of discovery started, from reading a lot of books. Then I studied yoga for many years. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. I just knew that I was looking for something, yeah. So
Yeah.
I called myself being a spiritual seeker. So I'm not even sure that at the beginning it was the calling of the heart. It was just like this feeling within myself, kind of like being unsettled, discontent.
Mhm.
Something was telling me like to move forward. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I just knew that something else was possible for me. So
Wonderful. So this was the start of your journey, like this opening into this esoteric practices and esoteric world. So at some point, you got to a point where you were like, okay, I know more is possible, but how do I get there? Like, what do I need to do, or who do I need to become to make this possible? Would you share a little bit more about this realization and how you stepped on the path that you're on today? I mean, this was the beginning, but how did you move on?
yeah, so I guess I found what I was looking for.
Oh,
But honestly speaking, like when I moved from Ukraine to Belgium,
wonderful.
so it was in my early 20s, I felt so many possibilities to open up, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Yeah. And I remember that my first like ever self-development course was about finding my life purpose. So this question, like, what is my life purpose, has been haunting me like for years. Yeah. So I went even like to the spiritual teacher, spiritual master. So I was lucky enough actually that I knew both spiritual teachers, one an incarnation of the divine feminine, another the divine masculine. So my first question was always like, what is my dharma? And if you read The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, it looks like the author was guided to move like from one thing to another one, like so effortlessly, that wasn't the case for me. And a lot of my path was like back and forward zigzags and a lot of detours. And I believe this is actually true for many of us, yeah. So we think that the path is going to be like all roses and rainbows. And if we are meant to walk on that path. And what I found out actually that it stretched me like in so many capacities that I couldn't even imagine or actually even predict. Yeah. So if you told that girl, you know, like when I was in my 20s, like she would not even believe it. So...
Wow. Wow. So wonderful that you got the answers and that you kept on following your calling, you know? Because sometimes I feel like it's the most one of the most important things is to always keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, no matter what's showing up in our lives. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I think a lot of souls can relate to all of these questions and like yeah, we all want to know why we are here, right? So with you, there are so many things, Anna, that would be so interesting to talk about. But I feel like maybe we could talk a little bit about the creative process because at some point you talked about coming back to a new creative process and like rediscovering what creativity means to you. I mean, we're always in this rediscovering process and we're always like learning new things or looking into things on a deeper level, you know. But I feel, yeah, I just let you share what you feel like sharing about this.
Yeah, so probably gonna back up a little bit before I start to talk about creation process because there
Okay.
was a lot of things that has been unfolding that actually led me to the bigger discovery about myself and about creation. So it would make more sense in a deeper context. So first of all, you know, like this thing that I said that I was looking for, yes, just like I didn't know what I was looking for, but I was looking for. And I think there is a lot of us like looking for the things out there. What we didn't realize is that we need to look for the things here. And it's like, I'm not out there, I'm here, I am arrived. And I mean, it's very difficult to explain it by the words. It's more the experience of that. So maybe we can try and that experience a little bit later. I will be curious to guide the participants through all of that, like pulling our attention back to ourselves and discovering that. And I don't think like I had a choice, to be honest. It's like one of those things that we call a choiceless choice. And I'm going to be very clear here. This is not from the perspective that we are somehow powerless. Yeah. I wasn't powerless. This is what I asked for. So in 2016, it was a very difficult year for me with a lot of initiations that including battling for custody of my son. So my husband died after that. I was also like releasing a lot of my old identities. It was a year like when I had a lot of the detours that I did with, you know, like during the previous years. And it come kind of like all to one point when I felt myself like being completely lost in the process. So I went, what I see like from now, from the perspective of my wiser self, is that I went like a little bit to find exploration of my personal will.
Oh,
So what happened is at the beginning of that year, I literally like screamed my guts out at one event at the stage. And I just like screamed, I want to play with gods now. Like I didn't know what it meant. All I knew that the scream that came, it was somewhere from the place like I never got in touch before. So it actually really surprised me. And I know that it was a recalibration and a call back to the realignment. And I wanted everything in my life just to resonate with the energy of God or divine. So later that year, I went into Jerusalem, and it was in November. It was right after my husband died. And I wrote a prayer on the paper. Yeah, so they give you the paper that you can put into the prayer wall, yeah, in Jerusalem. And I wrote down that I want to be a walking, talking goddess on the planet. Yeah. I want to be the legs and hands of God. I want to speak the words of divine. That's what I wrote on that paper. And so I've asked for that. So this is when my 7-year initiation period started. Yeah. So I prayed for this deeper alignment to come back home to myself. So after I went through this 7 years of deep initiation, I started to, like in the middle of it, I started to reclaim my sovereignty, my inner authority. So during those 7 years, I was in total hermit mode, like in total hermit mode. So I closed my business, I cut all of the interactions. So my body required like a lot of attention because I developed also an autoimmune thyroid disease by taking the stuff that wasn't mine. So I wasn't really able to work or do anything except like normal human functioning and like barely taking care of my kids. Yeah. So just even thinking about like creating again, like it literally felt like a physical trauma in my body. And part of that probably was because I made so many detours, is because I went too much in exploring my personal will. Yeah. So I couldn't trust myself with creations again. Like I had this fear, like what if I'm going to lose or hurt myself again in the process if I start again? So at that period of time, I was also doing like a lot of divine feminine embodiment practices. And at some moment, Lilith came. So Lilith is a very interesting divine feminine archetype. Yeah. So she showed to me the difference between creating demons and angels. And the difference between this is creating things just consciously or unconsciously. So she helped me to clear like everywhere I created previously energetic abominations. So this is how she called this. And it took me actually a moment to do that because it actually ran in my family bloodline. So I had to clear like a lot of my female lineage and their relationship to men and sons, the way how they created a lot of destruction in that particular area. So that was very interesting energy just to experience and, bringing back to the alchemizing. Yeah. So she gave me these keys to the immaculate creation. So I understand now, like why I made so many detours. And a huge part of my work is about restoring the divine original templates on Earth. So I needed to learn the difference, like to never make a mistake again. It's like now it's like encrypted in my
Perfect.
cells. Yes.
Wonderful. Powerful. Lilith. Amazing. I
Yeah,
love
I have
her.
like even goosebumps going on in my on my spine. Oof.
Oh, amazing. That is so wonderful. So then you got to a point where you were like opening up to creating again. And how was that feeling? Like, was it a natural opening or was it more like, I have to do this now. So let's just hop back in.
Good question. I don't think it was like very natural flowing opening. It was in what it was like 2 years ago or something around that. Yeah, so it was Mother Mary actually who came forward and she's like, okay, honey, now it's time for us to do the work again. So
Wow.
so that's basically that was like my first offering after like a long break.
Mhm.
So I was previously, like I was teaching yoga and I was teaching a lot of the transformational programs for women. I did a lot of the work around emotions and, like in a child. And she's like, no, now we are doing divine feminine work. And I'm like, okay, I guess we are doing divine feminine work. So in all honestly, like I just got like the pieces of the offering, like just the main title and what it's going to be about. And the rest, we just kind of roll it with Mother Mary. So, yeah, so that's basically, I can say like my whole year, that year, like when I kind of like restarted coming into the world again, it took me moments, like from just allowing myself to open up to this better and bigger capacity, like to hold bigger responsibilities and to step into the stewarding bigger energies, because for a very long time my energy was like so inward, like towards myself, because I was going through a lot of the things, so I needed to be present, like here, not there, here. And now I think like it created like this beautiful balance that I can be here and I can still be there and aware at the same time. So
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. My gosh, my goddess. So, that is amazing. I feel like being connected to one's own creative force, like the, the source of God, or what we call God, is like the most important thing ever. So, but sometimes we feel disconnected. Sometimes things happen in our lives, and we're like you said, you just don't have the strength, or sometimes you fear what's gonna come out of it. But is there like something you would like to give to the souls, like an advice, or to reconnect to one's own um, creative source, like the source of God?
yes, thank you. So first of all, I would love to highlight first the difference between creating from this place of immaculate creation and an unconscious state. Yeah. And first of all, I want to just let know everybody, because I can hear already going in the mind, in the participants. I'm very aware about the thoughts. It's like, oh, that's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's because the way how we create in this world, we haven't been taught. Actually, it's the opposite, the true. We have been almost like taught out from our original source of creation. So if you see like 2-year-old child, like the way how 2-year child is just exploring the world around, we are not doing the same way. Okay, so let's be honest about that. So coming back into this like innocence of exploration, innocence of creation, without the judgment states about right and wrong, good and bad, and I don't know if I create this, like these fears about the failures, other stuff. So if we actually take ourselves away from all of these projections, that's it, we're gonna start to create consciously. Yeah. So first of all, it is a devotion. Yeah, it's a very intentionally choosing to align our personal will with the divine will. Yeah. And checking if our motivations are pure. And I know that for some of you, maybe you may have like energetic charge on the word pure. So I want to be very clear about that. It's not about pure in terms of the religious upbringing or anything like that. It's pure. It's really about this purity of inner child. I mean, like when we come into the world, there is this innocence. There is no like motivations behind the scenes or anything, like it's the child is just pure, like when child wants to cry, child cries, like when child wants to express joy, like it expresses joy. It doesn't go like, like into manipulation, like, or I think I'm going to explain, like express the joy here, so I'm going to manipulate your parents. So we learn it much later, like from other people. So having this pure motivation, which is for me like holy of the holy, yeah, like this devotion with the divine will, like just contributing and be the blessing for ourselves and more life. So that's probably from where I will start. First of all, yeah, is just checking if I want to create from the motivation, from the intention that is pure within me, because I want to be the blessing to myself and the blessing to humanity. Or there is a long list of the things I think I want to create, like it's just basically for me, it's just some version of entitlement. Yes, I'm going to be very honest about that and direct. So also, I'm probably going to disappoint someone by saying that living a divinely led life is not always a flow. So, so the first thing you would need to ask yourself is like, who is creating in your life? Because we have so many different parts of ourselves, and some of those parts are unconscious, but some of the parts they're conscious. And for how many parts of yourself you're actually aware of, yeah. Because there are sometimes our 2 years old, like who run the temper tantrum, and they are creating our life, like in certain areas of our life, like in relationship, or I don't know, like in the work, maybe relationship with your colleagues. So it may be like a weird question, but trust me, just ask yourself. You might be surprised if the answer is like, who is creating in my life? And you're gonna have a lot of the hands raised if you actually listen. So when it comes to creation, and I'm speaking in terms of the true immaculate creation, we need to embody two of our true identities. Yeah. So the first identity is like, I am a child of creation. I'm a child of immaculate conception. And another is the template of creator creatrix archetype. So if you truly desire to create again with the divine, with the divine will, following the guidance of your higher self, so I invite you to make a daily choice to align your personal will with the divine will and ask to be worked on. Yeah. It's an amazing feeling to feel that you're being worked on by God, by divinity. And you will be asked to let go of the things that you're not you. Yeah. What I call them, the things that are not self, and explore something new instead. Yeah. So the more you're curious, like coming back again to this 2-year-old child, exploring the world outside of yourself. And why I'm speaking particularly about the 2-year-old child is this is the age where our sacral chakra is developed. And this is where we start to create our relationship with the world, with life outside of ourselves, because the 1-year-old is all about identity of I am. So this is where we learn this identity. I'm a child of creation. I am loved. So basically, the more you're curious, the more you open up to the exploration, the more you open up to this feeling of wonder. So the easier it will be for you just to explore different creations without putting them into any box, of any judgment.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, I feel this is gonna help a lot of souls. I hope you explore and play around, beautiful beings out there. Oh, because it is a wonderful connection and a wonderful place to be in that state of wonder. Magical. So this is a good path to the next topic, because you already mentioned um, all the parts that are parts of us. But what does it mean, Like, what does it mean to explore all the parts of us? And yeah, how do we learn to listen? I mean, I had this amazing experience with in one of your containers. Um, it was called the path to sovereignty, and at one point we were calling all the parts of ourselves home, and this was like one of the most mind-blowing experiences I ever had in my life. So, but there are so many parts, and yeah, okay, we have to dive into this step by step before I explode here. So,
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, first of all, I think it starts from turning our attention inwards towards ourselves. Yeah, this is what I said. Instead of looking for something outside, like those answers outside, we're coming inside of ourselves. And I mean, like, I think probably many people like say all of the answers like are within you, but I don't think like many really understand what it really means.
mm,
So would you mind actually if you have like a small tuning in of experience?
I would love that.
Yes, because I feel like it's going to be better just to show it rather than to explain it, because knowing like all parts of our multidimensional selves intimately, it's not it's not a mind understanding. It's actually within the cells of our body, this deeper remembrance and knowing. So, so let's do it. I just invite all of the beautiful beings to find a comfortable position, take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And I imagine that you're in a safe space where you can close your eyes. And if you're not, then find a safe space to close your eyes. Whew. Well, let's first just take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And there is no need to try to regulate your breath. But what we're going to do is to turn our attention inward. And the way how you're going to do it is to put one of your hands, just feel which hand feels right at this particular moment on your heart. And just gently affirm to yourself, I'm here. All of me is here. So by doing this, we are taking our attention from our head, which is usually where the most of our attention is, in our thoughts. And we consciously moving it where our hand lies, on our chest area. We're connecting with the deeper feeling within our heart. And if you scan now with your awareness, just the environment around you, you may not be aware of it immediately, but with the time, you will start to feel the pieces and parts of yourself. They're almost like hanging somewhere with their attention somewhere else. So let's just gently repeat after me. With the power of God, love, source, universe that I am, whatever your version of that. I call all the parts of myself come back to me now.
Call all the parts of myself to come back to me
Across all of the lifetimes,
now. Across all of the lifetimes,
spaces, dimensions, and realities.
spaces, dimensions, and realities.
And just see or sense, depending on which sense is activated within you at this particular moment. As you repeat these words one more time, as you're going to repeat it, like all of those parts where you're just bringing your attention back to your heart. With the power of God, love, source, universe that I am.
The power of God, soul, love, source, universe, wherever.
I call all of the parts of myself to come back to me now.
Call all of the parts of myself to come back to me now.
Across all of the lifetime spaces.
Across all of the lifetime spaces,
Dimensions and realities.
dimensions, and realities.
And now let's bring all of those parts even deeper within your heart. Almost like dropping them into your lower part of your body. So you may even feel like the deeper weight. It's like there is more of you that is present within you, which is true. And it's almost like you become even heavier. So you're actually taking a little bit more space. And you can just sit like this for as long as you need. You can replay this as many times as you want. And this is how you create this inner communion with all parts of yourself. And so it is.
So it is.
Whew. Thank you, beautiful beings, for coming along with us. I really appreciate that. Oh. So you feel like even the energy in the space just has changed. So there is like there is almost like more substance. The
Yeah.
place is filled with more soul.
Yeah. I immediately felt it. This, oh, there are no words. There are no words. You just have to experience it. Thank you so much for taking us through this beautiful process of reconnection and calling home. Oh, Anna, I love you so much. This is so wonderful. Oh gosh. So, some people don't even know that there are so many parts that are still wondering. And yeah, but maybe it's the feeling of missing something, you know, like missing some part or some parts. And like you said so wonderfully, that we take up more space now, we embody more of us now. And I feel like that is kind of one of your main themes, right? Embodying all of you so we can be here with all of us, like embody the God or the Goddess. So wonderful. Wow, I have to come back into this space now.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit more about maybe that it actually takes experience, and it also takes a lot of discernment. And a couple of times in my life, actually, I heard the voice or I saw the images of what I was supposed like to do or what is supposed to be like in my future. And if I think about this right now, like from the place of much more discernment than I was before, to be honest, like I'm not even sure that those were benevolent voices. So I thought that I was following the guidance, but in fact, actually, I was overriding a lot of my feelings and experiences of my human, yeah. So, which actually hurt a lot of my human parts, and especially a lot of my inner children in the process. So when I started to reclaim the sovereignty of my physical body first and different voices within myself, so I started to cultivate this quality of discernment of what is mine and what is not mine.
Mm.
So that's my invitation for people to start to cultivate the discernment and see like which parts that maybe like even not yours, because we have like so many how do I say, like almost like energetic patches that are come from other people, or like from the social media that we hear from the collectives in ourselves that are actually not ours to carry. And we carry them willingly. We may be aware about it, we may be not aware about it, but we carry them willingly. Yeah, especially like our like us as a women, like we carry, for example, the dreams and desires of our men or our children. So, I mean, even without questioning, it's like almost feels like it's normal, but it is not, because each of the beings of this planet, is a sovereign being, and they're responsible for, like creating their heaven on earth. We can be there for them, but we can't create this for them. So I just want to remind you, I don't know like why it came, but apparently someone needed to hear that. So just wanted to let you know that. And also, check the voices that we hear inside of ourselves, or outside of ourselves, yeah, with our deeper truth, yeah, with this deeper inner authority. So the way how I can maybe describe this inner authority is, first of all, this is something that is going to be loving, and this is something that you're going to feel like a big devotion towards yourself. And what happens is that when we start to reclaim the parts of ourselves and start to reconcile, like our humanity and our divinity, we're going to have a lot of the sadness, and we will require a lot of the forgiveness. Why? It's because the more we are getting kind of like in love with ourselves, and before we start to welcome those parts of ourselves, there will be a lot of reconciliation that needs to happen, because we were the one who made choices that maybe were not very loving, not very kind, and that's okay. We were all learning, and it's good to remember that it wasn't our fault. and at the same time taking responsibility to make amends. And I think that's what's very important, is making amends to ourselves and treating those parts of ourselves as kind of equal partners in some sense. Like if you would need to make an amend like to a real human being, they're real part within ourselves. So I don't know like why this came forward. So I just wanted to honor that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel this was very important too, because
Thank
yeah,
you.
we have to bring ourselves home. Like there's so much help on the way, but we have to walk the path. Thank you so much for bringing that forward. Thank you so much, Anna. Ah, wonderful. So you use the word reconciliation, and I feel that's where we're gonna go next. So when we talk about the reconciliation between the part of us that is the divine and embodying embodying the human being or being in a human form, like it is a process to, like, I don't know, accept one's humanity and also at the same time embrace like the divine part in us and kind of like merging them. Is there something that you would like to share about this?
Yes, absolutely. If I could probably like define with all of the words,
Mm,
just with one phrase, that's probably what is our work about. Like the reconciliation between humanity and our divinity this is probably the most important process that we can ever do. And this is where it all leads, yeah, to start to reconcile different parts of ourselves and bringing them home to this inner union communion so we can become whole again, yeah. So we are not those fragmented parts of ourselves, they can become full again. So what is really interesting is that if you actually feel it, the word fragmented, like, and if you've done like family constellations, and there is also another modalities that do the type of work. It's all about positioning. And I know this kind of like sounds very weird to speak about that, but if you take, for example, like family constellation, like that behind you it's ancestral line, and like behind your right part there will be like a male lineage, and behind left part there will be a female lineage. So when you have a specific structure, I would say, that is not in harmony. So then your father may be, I don't know, like somewhere else standing, like with the heads turned, like on the opposite side. And then your mother will be on the other side, and then they will be like this weird triangle. So any weird relationship going on. And I learned that this like dynamic, it's actually very physical. So when we think about our parts of ourselves, like I don't think like we think them in terms of this alignment or different, like those like parts of us, they live somewhere in our energetic space and our aura or in our physical body, and they are not in harmony where they're supposed to be. So it's almost like we feel that we are like those parts of us, like we are fragmented pieces of ourselves, and we need to start to bring them back, like back to our heart until they actually merge with us, and then there is no separation.
mm,
So first of all, I think my first invitation is for you to start to redefine what is inner work. And for me, the inner work is a homecoming. Yeah. So if you see it as the homecoming and welcoming all parts of yourself to come home. So I can give you a visual that my guides gave to me. So if you imagine a mother ringing the big bell, like if there was like I don't know, like in some sanctuary, there was the big farm and there was the woman coming outside of the door and there was this bell, like attached to the to the side of the door of the house. She was calling her children home. It's the same way, like we are ringing this bell. It's like, okay, I'm ready, like, can you come now home all for lunch? And there will be a lot of different parts of ourselves. There will be parts of ourselves who were exploring our personal will. So that might got a little bit too far on their adventure.
Yeah.
Those who might feel like they are a little bit like orphans almost, yeah, or they were excluded from the party. There will be children who just explored the world and kind of like forgot to come home. There will be a lot of the disobedient children and the rebels, the one who would defy God, or the ones who would just feel alone. So those ones who will be like standing out, who will be like different and have big dreams, we have like so many parts of ourselves that we cut off is the idea in mind to keep those parts of us protected. So either from the world or from ourselves. But this same act of cutting those parts of ourselves from our consciousness, yeah, this is what brings actually the most of pain and most suffering. It's because we stop feeling safe with being with ourselves. So if we know now, okay, so I am the one who is creating safety, and I'm safe for all of the parts of myself to come home. And those parts of myself deserve more love, not punishment or judgment. And just repeating that constantly, we have like even this mantra within our community. It's like, I deserve more love, not less. I deserve more love, not less. I deserve more love, not less. And if you find like any parts of yourself where immediately you have some judgments because maybe that part of you who is angry or maybe sad or maybe grief, you just say, okay, so that part of myself deserves more love, and see what happens. So just by bringing them home, we reconnect with this true nature of ourselves, because those parts, they carry the wisdom, but they also carry the gift. So whatever part that is like almost like a treasure. So they're like the carriers of the treasure. So it's like, oh, I would love to know like what is in that treasure chest. Like those parts of ourselves, they're like just whew, amazing. They're like our inner guides and inner gurus.
Wow. That is so, and I resonate with this very much. And I experienced it, and I hope that a lot of souls can experience this too, because uh, I feel it's like one of the most powerful healing modalities that are out there to like listen and bring them home, bring them all home, so we feel more whole again. Wonderful. Ah, thank you so much, Anna, for sharing all of this wisdom with us. Wow. So, shall we talk a little bit about the daily communion process, like to really tap in consciously?
Yes. So first of all, I want to say that it doesn't need to take a lot of time.
Mhm. Okay.
Even though I can also say that those parts of you are going to demand your attention.
Hmm.
So it's like both sides of the coin, but we are all for it, isn't it? So yeah, so for me personally, I want to make sure that there are all parts of myself on board, especially like in my big life choices and my big life decisions. Yeah. I made this promise to myself, like never override any parts of my humanity again. So I make sure that all of them on board. So my usual, like check-in is I feel, first of all, I'm just checking in what I'm feeling at this particular moment. Yeah. So what I feel in this particular moment. I sense how my body feels at this particular moment. Yeah. If there is anything that needs to be adjusted, I'm aware about it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to jump immediately into
Yeah.
fixing it. There is nothing to fix. It's like, okay, this is what I'm feeling this particular moment. And I'm like, amazing. What else do I want to feel today? Or what else do I want to explore today? And usually like I got to this point where how to say like my answers come naturally, but maybe like at the beginning it may take a moment, you know what I mean, like it may take a moment, but I also developed and cultivated the trust that sometimes that words that come um like maybe they will not have make sense, you know what I mean, like for example,
Mhm.
if I'm in a season of creating relationship, who knows, yeah, so I want to meet the like if you want to meet a man of your life or whatever. So in the season of creating a relationship, and then you are just checking with yourself how you're feeling and what do you need to focus on today. Yeah. And some still will come like, I don't know, like being collected. And I'm like, what is this even word collected? Like has to do like with me creating a relationship. Yeah. So we go like into these judgments and understanding, but what we don't understand is that we are giving these energetic pieces. We are giving this almost like these drops of energetic steps, because we think like the steps needs to be like actions. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna put myself on the app or whatever. Is like, no, it's like feel the energy, like what is the energy that is inviting you to do? Okay, so maybe before I go into this exploration, maybe I need to explore what does it mean to be collected and calm within myself. Or maybe I will need to go into this exploration of how to be whole on itself. Yeah. How to be sovereign in my choices, how to be, like how to have this discernment. Yeah. So there is so many different things that can come. So if you just follow like this guidance, I mean, amazing things happen. Like, and I do the bigger intention. I would not say intention setting, because it's actually intention is coming forward. So I would say like intention unfolding. So I
Wow.
do it usually in the, like in the new moon. I do my intention unfolding. And at the full moon, I'm usually clearing what is preventing me from receiving that, whatever that is coming forward. And I check with, first of all, I check with the Divine Mother. So this is the face of God that I'm exploring at this particular moment. So I'm asking Divine Mother for life, what is, what would you like me to experience this month? Yeah. What would you like me to embrace, to welcome? What is right and good for me at this particular month? Yeah. So it's kind of like that would be the questions that I feel that is allowing me to tune into this deeper truth that is coming forward. Then I do the same questions with my heart, like my heart. What do I think is right and good for me at this particular moment? Yeah. What would you like me to embrace? What would you like me to welcome? What would you like me to create? I do it with my heart. I do it with my womb space. And I also do it with one of my inner children. So usually whatever inner child wants to participate in this monthly intention unfolding, usually coming forward. So this particular moment, I'm still with my 2-year-old, and my 2-year-old is very courageous, adventurous child. So we explore different adventures together. And that gives me the perspective and kind of like tonality of the energy of what my month is going to look like. Yeah. And usually those statements, they come as, how do I say, like something maybe like even unexpected, I would say. Yeah. It's something that I would never think about that because I've done it like many times. Like now, sometimes when I just see it, it just like, like rolls on the paper. But at the beginning, it was a process. Yeah. Because I was really listening. Like I was writing it, then I would highlight the pieces that would come forward that would like they would repeat through the questions. Yeah. And now it's just like it just goes, this is what it is. And what I do after is that I actually have a process. There is another foundational practice, is that the practice that I call all-on-one. In this process, you actually put those intentions in your first chakra, and then you're looking in, like in your physical body, in your central channel. So this is how kind of the embodiment piece comes forward. So very exciting, very exciting.
Wow. What a powerful process. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much for sharing this. I feel inspired. I have to like try something and try your method out and see what comes up. Wow. Feels like full alignment mode. Like, oh, really feeling into things. I love that. Thank you so much, Anna. Oh, thank you so much. I feel like I can't thank you enough. And I hope that a lot of souls that feel attracted to this will benefit from this. But yeah, I'm sure they will. So um, there, I think that there are a lot of souls that would love to work with you. Um, So would you share with us a little bit about where we can find you, and also maybe a little bit more information about your upcoming projects and containers that you're
Okay.
about to create?
Okay, so first of all, you will find me at my website. I think that would be the best. It's livingfromdivine.com. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you will have all of the information about all of the upcoming programs. We also have our community in the Facebook group, as the Facebook group. We have so many beautiful offerings. What I can tell you is that my offerings are sovereign containers. And what it means is that what is happening in these containers is between you, God, and your higher self. Yeah, so there is no interference, there is no agenda, there is no wrong motivations. That's what we are coming back to, this like pure motivations. These are the containers that are created specifically for you to reclaim all of you, to come home to deeper union and communion with all multidimensional parts of yourself. And this is where you can align definitely with your highest timeline and your true north. I do it through curated, intentionally created journeys that are focused on a specific topic. So you already mentioned one of the journey that we did, which was the path to sovereignty. We have also the path of grace. We have also beautiful sacred initiation journeys, which are very advanced journeys for creating our heaven on earth, and also our legacy of love, at the same time as the restoring the template of the I'm a child of creation, I'm a child of immaculate conception. So there is so many beautiful offerings and the doors and portals that are available. Upcoming offerings. So it's interesting that you ask me, because it's Mother Mary who is actually stepping in again. I would say that I'm redoing the program that it was before, but I would be lying. But what is she actually inviting me to do is that the journey that is going to come in January, it is a quintessence of my decades of work and also lifetimes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
actually very excited about this. I'm not gonna go and say what it is because it's going to roll out as the mystery offer. It's the mystery offering of ineffable mystery of divine feminine. So
I love that.
and I just trust that is going to be received in the most beautiful ways. I know that it's going to be very transformational journey. That is definitely aligned with the energies, like for winter, it's where we do. I want to try to do not say the word, what it's going to be about, to keep the mystery of it. I would say that it's definitely about coming home back to ourselves in a very different capacity. I don't want to say more than that.
Okay, let's leave it like that. Oh my goodness.
Because
So
I don't
excited.
want to be revealed. It doesn't want to be revealed yet. But if you actually can tune into the energy of this, this is going to be a very, 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 very important container. So I'm so excited about this. And yeah, Mother Mary has always been just such beautiful ally in terms of bringing this path, like walking the way, like this is your gift, is always being present to all of our inner children, and at the same time saying, like, honey, it's like time, let's move to the next steps.
Yeah.
It's like this loving mother knowing about the exponential potential of your children. So
Oh, wonderful. Oh my gosh. So, I'm sure everyone will get notified when they join your newsletter, and so we all know when the offering is coming out. And wow, oh, I feel excited about this, Anna. Amazing.
me too.
And what I would also love to put in the field for the souls listening, there you also created or founded a collective the Leading Edge Collective.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yes.
Join us!
Yeah, so Leading Edge Collective is very interesting offering. It's really about what does it mean to be on the edge of leading. It doesn't matter if you're just leading your life or, you know, like your family or the small community or the larger community. It was really just have this conversation. What does it really mean to be, you know, like to live divinely led life and legacy? And it's once in a month. It's free. It's like we are coming together as the community, and yeah, we're looking forward to for you to come and experience that. So the recordings of the previous live gatherings, they're already within the portal, so you can listen to them and just experience this by yourself. It's
Yeah!
very, very beautiful.
It is so powerful, and the community is so many beautiful souls, and of course, you are holding the space and guiding us through very powerful journeys. Wow, and I feel very honored that I get to experience this. Ah, my goodness. So, for all the souls that are listening, I will put all the links in the description box below. So you can check out the website and you can check out the Leading Edge Collective and yeah, hopefully join the newsletter so you will get notified when the new container is out. And yeah, Anna, sometimes words are not enough for what I want to communicate, but I hope that you feel what I feel for you and how grateful I am that you yeah, that we did this together, that you were open to come here, and it was an honor to have you, a true honor to have you. Like I really I love you. I just love you very much, and
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for all beautiful beings. And I love that you say you don't have words because a lot of the participants say that they don't have words to describe sometimes the transformation that is happening is because it is between you and your higher self. And we are no longer playing in the realm of words. We are playing in the energy field. You know, in the activations of our DNA and divine templates and yeah, just magic and miracles. That's why I'm like launching this mystery offering because I wanted to play more in this mystery, you know, this
wonderful.
mystery that is there is more than just, you know, explaining to people what it will be and what it is, and just allowing ourselves like being just being moved by God. So
Powerful.
allow yourself being moved by God. That's
Yes,
all I can say.
wonderful. That's a
Okay.
wonderful wrap up.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Much
you.
love and blessings, everyone.
Much love and blessings. See you next time.
Thank you for watching this episode, beautiful beings. If you want to see more, like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notified when something new is up. See you next time!